Welcome to Elder Care's weekly webinar, and we're glad that you're able to attend. And Hunter from United National Life is with us today, and he's going to talk about all of their great plans. So feel free to ask questions in the question box, and after he's done presenting, I'll make sure that all the questions get asked. So I'll let Hunter take over and share more with you guys.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And as soon as I'm made presenter, I will share my screen. There we go. Sarah, what do you see right now? Do you see my slideshow yet or no?
It's just your desktop screen.
Right. Let me see if I can get this thing going. There we go. Are you seeing it now?
Yes, it's showing, I think, your view.
Okay, how do I change that?
If you have two screens, it should have the option to choose another screen in the GoToWebinar section.
Okay, let me see real quick. Sorry about that. Is that better?
That looks good, yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you so much, Sarah, and sorry for the technical difficulties. But thank you for the introduction. My name is Hunter Gordy. I'm with United National Life. The first thing I like to point out when I'm doing any of these webinars is my cell phone number, right? So you can see right there on the first slide, next to my unflattering screen headshot, you can see my email address and my cell phone number. Please write that down. Right, I am here to assist you. Know that when you call me or text me, I'm here to help. I've been in your shoes. I've been an agent, right? I've knocked on 1 million doors. I've made thousands of phone calls to try to set up appointments. Know that I've been there. I know what your day-to-day life is, and so I try to come across as when I train and when I assist. I like to look at it from the eyes of an agent because I've been there. I know what it's like. So before I get into our products, we have a very simple, easy portfolio of products that are designed to help you fill the gaps, right? Protect the gaps of Medicare. Before I get into those, I want to talk about, and real quick, here they are. So we have really 5 products that we concentrate on. 4 of them are up here. We just launched a new caregiver plan that I'll briefly go over today. But as you can see there, cancer, home health care, hospital indemnity, and dental and vision, right? So all the things really that Medicare is not covering, we fill those holes so that you can present these to your clients, help protect those gaps, fill those gaps, so your clients aren't blindsided when they have to go to the hospital, or if they get diagnosed with cancer, or if they need somebody to come to their house to assist, right? So that's what we're here for. But I want to talk about cross-selling real quick, right? In my opinion, cross-selling is the single most important thing that you can do as an agent, right? It's going to do 3 things. Number 1, it's going to help your clients, right? Your clients don't know that they need these products. So if you can present to them a fair and affordable solution, they're going to buy it from you, right? So first of all, you're going to help your clients. Second, you're going to increase your persistency and protect your renewals, right? And in doing so, you're going to increase your paycheck tremendously. So I'm sure you have all heard of the 30, 60, 90 rule. If you have 1 product in the house, you have a 30% chance of keeping that client, 2 products to 60% chance, and 3 clients, you have a 90%, or 3 products, you have a 90% chance of keeping that client, right? So we want to make sure that by cross-selling, we're not only helping them, but you're helping yourself, all right? So first off, the first thing I want to talk about is creating the need. I already kind of talked about that. They don't know that they need these things. So you've got to create the need before you start talking about these products. The first one is the hospital indemnity shield. It's very easy to create the need there, right? I mean, we all know that the copay is the biggest liability. The hospital copay is the biggest liability when it comes to the Medicare Advantage plans. Unfortunately, less than 3% of Medicare Advantage policyholders have a hospital indemnity plan, which is insane to think about. We know it's the biggest liability, yet less than 3% have protection. And there's a couple different reasons for that. Number one, agents aren't talking about it, right? This thing should sell itself. When you're going over the hospital, the Medicare Advantage plan, and you come to the scope, it says it right there. It sells it for you, right? The first, you have a hospital, you have a Medicare Advantage plan. You're responsible for the first 5 or 6 days in that hospital at whatever the number is, $250, $300, $350, right? Instead of glossing over that, point that out. Make them aware of that, right? And then show them that don't worry about it because I'm going to be able to protect you for less than $25 a month, right? And then even then, you can even go down to less than $16 a month if you have to, if money's an option. So point that out, highlight it for them. Real quick, our plan is very simple. We're going to pay anywhere between $100 and $600 per day from 3 to 10 days. So you have an option. I always highly suggest you go with the 10-day option. Why is that? Our plan is a calendar year plan, meaning from January 1st to December 31st, you are going to get however many days you select. They reset, restore after every calendar year. So if you select 10 days, you have those 10 days from January 1st until December 31st. So if they go to the hospital, say they have a 5-day copay. They go to the hospital for 5 days, you use those 5 days, you get paid out directly to you. It's an indemnity plan, so it goes directly to the policyholder. And if they get readmitted into the hospital, 30, 45, 50 days later, they still have 5 more days to use. So it's very simple, very easy. Always go with the 10-day plan because it's not that much more expensive than if you go with the 5, 6, 7 day. We have a couple different riders that you can add on to this. I always suggest when you're initially presenting this to your client, you talk about skilled nursing. So we have a skilled nursing rider that you can add to this. 20-day elimination period, right? Because Medicare is going to cover those first 20 days. And so then we're going to pick up days 21 to 100. 100, 150, or $200 per day. You can choose on that rider. Always add the ambulance rider. It's like $2 a month. Very inexpensive, and it's definitely needed. Always, always, always add that ambulance rider. And lastly, we added this last year, our outpatient surgery rider. So we're going to pay either $250, $400, or $500 a day, and you can use this twice per year. So it's also not that expensive. It's like per $250, it's $5.61. So not too much. So if you select this plan and you present it to your clients, you're going to be able to cover their hospital copay, their skilled nursing copay, their ambulance, and their outpatient surgery copay. So very simple, very easy, protecting those gaps of Medicare Advantage plans. I ran a sample quote not too long ago. It might not be exact for the state that you're in, but if you selected 10 days at $300 a day, you added the outpatient surgery rider for $250, you added the ambulance rider, right there with all that protection, it's going to cost your client, a 65-year-old, $23.60 per month. Very inexpensive. If you got rid of that outpatient surgery rider, that would be about $18 a month. $17 a month, sorry. So very easy, very simple. If you have any questions about any of these, please put it into the question box and we'll circle back a little bit later. Standard underwriting here of all hospital indemnity plans, right? You can find all this information in your portal. So if you do not have a writing number with us, please contract with us. Reach out to Sarah or the team at Elder Care and get contracted with us so that we can get you brochures, we can get you apps, you can get access to our e-app, which is very simple, has our quoting tool in it. Very, very simple to use. All right, moving on, real quick, I want to talk about our short-term home health care plan. So I'm not sure if any of you have ever presented a home health care plan to your clients. This plan is one of the easiest plans to present. I'm going to show you a way for a 65-year-old to get the middle option, Plan B, and with the RX benefit that's attached to this thing, it will more than pay for the annual premiums if they use that RX benefit, right? So very simple, very easy. I'm not sure if anybody knows this, but if somebody needs home health care, it's going to cost them over $50,000 per year. So this stuff is very expensive. And I'm going to show you a way to protect yourself literally for no dollars if they use that RX benefit. Okay. You're going to get some pushback on this thing when you present it, right? Most people think Medicare covers everything. It doesn't. We know that. If it covered everything, we wouldn't have jobs, right? This is straight off Medicare.gov. To decide if you're eligible for home health care, or to decide if you're eligible for home health care, Medicare defines part-time or intermittent as skilled nursing care that's needed or given on fewer than 7 days each week or less than 8 hours each day over 21 days or less. Right? Basically what that's saying is Medicare covers very, very little. You might say, well, you know what? It's not going to happen to me. I'm not going to need this care. Well, it might not, but over 70% of people who are turning 65 are going to need this care at some point in their lives, right? So it's very likely to happen to them. And lastly, as we just saw, it's very expensive, right? Between $53,000 and $55,000 per year to receive these benefits. So our plan, this is all snapshotted directly out of our brochure, but to collect short-term home health care benefits, a prior hospitalization stay is not required. Medicare requires a 3-day inpatient hospitalization to be able to receive skilled nursing. We do not, right? As long as you cannot perform 2 out of your 6 activities of daily living, you can go on claim for this plan. All right. The plan itself falls into 3 different parts. Part 1 is like the meat of the plan, right? You're going to have all of these different skills, all these different services that you see here. These are for people to come to their house, right? A home healthcare company to come to your house to perform these services. So instead of having to go to a skilled nursing facility, you can have somebody come to your house to take care of you. There's 3 different options, Plan A, Plan B, or Plan C. Right? Plan A is $150 per day, Plan B is $300 per day, and Plan C is $450 per day. You're going to get 360 days of care. So that doesn't mean once you go on claim, 360 days later, it's over. No, you only use one of those days when somebody comes to your house to perform a service. So if somebody came to your house every other day, this plan is going to last 2 years. If they came every 3rd day, it'll last 3 years, so on and so forth, right? So this plan is a short-term care plan, but it can last over multiple years. So if you took somebody who had Plan B, they're going to get over $100,000, or they have the potential to get over $100,000 in benefits just on this part alone, right? $300 a day at 360 days. You can see all the different all the different services that are covered under this plan, right? Skilled nursing, general nursing care, physical therapy, speech pathology, occupational therapy, chemotherapy specialist, interostomal therapy, respirational therapy, and medical social services. That can be very confusing, right? When you're talking to your client, do not do what I just did. Keep it simple, right? Ms. Smith, we got a great plan here for you. 360 days of coverage. I'm going to show you a way that this thing can last over multiple years. We're going to get you over $100,000 in benefits. We're going to take care of your skilled nursing, right? Your physical therapy, your speech pathology, all this other stuff that you see. And also, if a nurse comes to your home that doesn't fall under one of these specific categories, don't worry, you're still going to get covered under that general nursing care, okay? So very, very, very simple. Keep it simple. Don't talk, right? Don't confuse your clients, because I guarantee confused people do not buy insurance. Part 2 is a short-term home health care aid benefit. So an additional 60 days to having a certified home health care aide come to your house to kind of help around the house. That's on top of the 360 days. Skip over part 3 real quick. Let's go to part 4. This plan can restore in full after 180 consecutive days of somebody being healthy. This plan will reset. Those 360 days will reset. Those 60 days will reset, right? And that doesn't just happen once. That can happen an unlimited amount of times. As long as they're healthy for 180 consecutive days and a licensed healthcare practitioner has certified that you no longer require the home health care, right? So think about that. You get over $100,000 in benefits in part one, over $5,000 in benefits in part two. This thing can restore however many times it's needed as long as you're healthy for 180 days, right? Now we get to part three, the prescription drug benefit. We are going to pay to the policyholder from day one, they get this benefit. $10 every time they get a generic drug filled, $25 every time they get a brand name drug filled, for up to $300 per year for Plan A and $600 a year for Plan B and C. So if they're taking 2 brand name drugs that they get filled monthly, right there, that hits their maximum of $600 per year. Every policyholder gets this from day one. All they have to do is go to their pharmacy, have them print out the drugs that they're taking or getting filled, and submit it to our claims department. 2 weeks later, they'll have a check in their hand for however much, depending on how many drugs they've had filled over that period. They can do that monthly, they can do that annually. I recommend that they do it annually. That way you don't have to deal with as many claims, and it helps pay for their premium. And I'm going to go over that in a second, the premiums here. But remember that $600 annual. Remember I talked about how, go ahead.
There's some questions in regards to that slide before. Is it okay if I go ahead and ask them real quick?
Absolutely.
John asked, would this be suitable for Medigap clients?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and then Mark asked, is there a waiting period or elimination period?
So on the home health care part, there is no waiting period. However, there is a 6-month pre-existing condition. So if you have a pre-existing condition, in the prior 6 months of this going into effect, you cannot use the plan for that pre-existing condition for 6 months after the plan. All right. You can use it for any other condition, just not for that pre-existing condition for the first 6 months. Besides that, there is no waiting period. You do get that prescription drug benefit from day one, regardless of pre-existing conditions. So if you're taking drugs, before this policy goes into effect, you can still get the RX benefit for those drugs. That doesn't count. But for the pre-existing conditions, you cannot use it for that pre-existing condition for the following 6 months after it's in effect.
Okay, and then there's just 2 more questions. John asked, is there a 6-month GI window at age 65?
There's not, but what you'll see on this plan is the underwriting is incredibly simple. It's not guaranteed issue, but it's pretty dang close. And I'll go over those underwriting questions here in a bit.
Okay, and then the last one is from Clifford. It's, will the ambulance coverage only pay for paid ambulance service, or will it cover a donation to a volunteer ambulance or FD if they provide the service?
Well, let me find out on that one. I've never had that question before.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Earlier, when I was talking about the hospital indemnity, I said that less than 3% have care for hospital copays, right? Now, on the hospital indemnity portion, you asked about the waiting period. There is a 30-day waiting period for hospital indemnity, the hospital indemnity plan. But now we're talking about the home health care plan. So we talked about less than 3% have care. And I said the number one reason was because agents aren't talking about it. Well, the second reason is because of underwriting, right? A lot of people cannot qualify for a standalone hospital indemnity plan, mainly because of COPD or a diabetic taking insulin, right? Those are knockout questions. This plan has a hospital indemnity rider attached to it. It's called the Accident and Sickness Hospitalization Rider. This is a hospital indemnity rider that you can get and you can add it to the home health care plan. Then you may ask, well, why is that important? Why not just do a standalone hospital indemnity plan? Well, the underwriting, as I said on this, is very simple. So somebody who cannot qualify for a standalone hospital indemnity plan could qualify for this. So this plan, you have to choose the option based on the base plan that you choose. So if you go with base plan B, then you, on this rider, you could get $100 or $200 a day for 3 or 6 days. And those days restore after 60 days of no hospitalization. If you go with Plan C, you can get up to $300 a day for 3 or 6 days. So there's no reason now that if you're in a home and they have a Medicare Advantage plan, there's no reason for you not to take care of that hospital copay. Because if they can't qualify for the standalone plan because of underwriting, you could switch them over to this home health care plan. Now they're going to get their home health care covered. They're going to get their certified home health care aid covered. They're going to get the RX benefit that's going to pay them back up to $600 per year, and they can get this hospitalization rider or the hospital copay taken care of. We have a critical accident rider, very inexpensive. Another ambulance rider here, if they don't have the hospital indemnity one. And then a return of premium. You can always add a return of premium to this plan. We talked about rates, or we talked about that $600, and I wanted you to remember that number. Because look at this real quick. Look at option B for a 65-year-old. They're going to spend $47.41 per month. If you do the math and you multiply that and make that annual, it's about $570 per year. So they're going to pay $570 per year for this plan. And they're going to get back $600 a year for the RX benefit if they file. It's going to more than pay for the premium. That's why I said earlier, this thing is a no-brainer. It's so easy to sell if you just talk about it in every single home. Because if you talk about this in every home, I promise you, you're going to sell 2 out of 10 the first week you do it. 2 out of 10, 20%. And if you do that every single week, and you work 50 weeks a year, you could sell 100 of these in a year. And the premium, you're getting paid commissions based on those premiums, not based on the premiums minus the RX benefit. So to them, it's no cost. And then you're getting paid commissions on the full amount. It's a no-brainer, right? I do want to point out this is attained age pricing. What does that mean? It means you pay for what you should be paying for. So if you get this plan at 65, they're going to pay $47.41 every single month until at policy renewal, they're 71. And then at that point, the premiums will go up to $64.02. We do that so that this thing's affordable for all ages. If this was issue age, the 61 to 75-year-olds would be paying way more than you see up there because they would have to offset some of those premiums to the 76 to 85-year-olds. So they're paying for what they should be paying for.
Hunter, there's a few questions from the section before.
Okay.
The first one is from John. It says 6-month GI window at age 65 for the hospital indemnity plan.
No, we have no guaranteed issue. One of the reasons we are able to keep our premium so low is that we do not do a guaranteed issue.
Okay.
And our hospital indemnity, it starts at age 64. So we don't do underage market for our hospital indemnity.
Okay. And then Tommy asked, can this be used if the client is in an assisted living or retirement home facility?
So this is for only this is only home health. So this is having the people come to their home. So it's only for services performed at the house. Now, if you do the skilled nursing rider on the hospital indemnity plan, right, then that's gonna take care of that skilled nursing facility. But for the home health care plan, it's only for home health services.
Okay.
And if you think about that, like one of the biggest fears of our clientele is having to leave their home, right? And so one of the ways to create the need for this thing is to say, if you need this care, would you rather receive it in your home or in a facility? They're going to say in their home every single time, right? People do not want to leave their home. And this gives them that comfort of not having to leave their home and having people come to them.
Okay. I think the rest of the questions are more general, so I can ask those at the end.
Okay. Wanted to point out the rates for the hospital indemnity rider. You can see right there, a 65-year-old that gets $200 a day for 6 days. He's going to pay an additional $16.25 per month. So not that bad. Here's the underwriting questions. I wanted to go over these real quick. Is the applicant currently living in a nursing home or assisted living facility or receiving home health care or similar type of benefits? Does the applicant require the assistance or supervision of another person or a device for any kind for any one of the following routine activities of daily living? Within the past 12 months, has the applicant been diagnosed as having been prescribed medication for or received medical advice or treatment from a licensed healthcare professional for Alzheimer's disease, dementia, or memory loss? Those are the only 3 questions if you go with option A or B. If you go with option C, there's one additional question. In the next 60 days, is the applicant scheduled for or anticipating the scheduling of admission to a hospital, nursing home, or assisted living facility, home health care services, or surgery? That's it. So it's not a guaranteed issue, but you can see this is very relaxed underwriting, right? Very relaxed underwriting. And so you're going to be able to, if you have somebody who cannot qualify for the standalone hospital indemnity plan, can always, not always, but more than likely would be able to qualify for this home health care plan. All right, we're running out of time, so I'm not going to go over the other slides right now. What I do want to point out, we already did this earlier, is these are all of our plans. So if you have any questions or want more information, please contract with us. Order some brochures at no cost. We can send them to you. But we do have a dental plan, a cancer plan, and something called the Caregiver Plan, which is a really cool new idea that covers terminal illness. When somebody gets diagnosed with a terminal illness, we will pay directly to them or their caregiver of choice. Doesn't have to be a professional, can be a family member or a friend. We'll pay them $100, $200, or $300 per day for up to 100 days to help care for that person. That way that they're not financially out. Their children don't, if they had to take less hours or quit their job, they will be compensated to help take care of their loved ones. And so I'd be more than happy to go over that at another time. But like I said, we're running out of time, and I want to be able to answer any other questions that you have before I let you go.
Thank you very much for that. And one of the questions is, what are the issue ages? And I think that was on like the home health.
Yeah. So for the hospital indemnity, it's ages 64 to 85 to be able to get a new policy. After 85, you will keep the plan. You just cannot get a new policy. For the home health care plan, it's ages 61 to 85. So once again, these things are guaranteed renewable for life. So as long as you're paying your premiums, you will always have this plan even after the age of 85. You just cannot apply for a new plan after 85 or before 61 for the home health care.
Okay. And then Mark asked, are commissions level for life?
So we will pay a first-year commission, which is obviously much higher, but we do have good renewal commissions as well. And any commission questions, it should be directed to Elder Care. They can let you know what commissions you're making.
And then Clifford asked, what is the company rating and how old is the carrier?
Yep, so we've been around since 1961. We are a B++ company, which is as high as we can be with our product portfolio. So the only way to become an A company is to have equal health and life, and we have very, 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 very little life. And so we are as high as that we can be with a B++. Now, on these plans, we've never had an unscheduled rate increase in the history of our company, which means we are very good at pricing things out. But yeah, we've been around since 1960, very, very financially strong. And Yeah, so that's about it.
Okay. And then Mark asked if you have Medigap Plan G or N, aren't these mostly provided in home? I think that was also home health.
Yeah, so I mean, if you have a supplemental plan, they're gonna you're not gonna have to worry about the hospital copay. Um, and one of the things you have to remember though is all of these are indemnity plans. So we don't care what other coverage they have, right? They could be a VA, they could have a sub, Med sub, they could have whatever where they pay $0. We don't care. We're going to look at what services were performed and we're going to pay that directly to the policyholder. So regardless of what their copays are, if they have any copays, even on the RX benefit, they could be a veteran paying $0 for their drugs. We're still going to pay them $10 for that generic or $25 for that brand. These are all indemnity, so they go directly to the policyholder.
Okay. And then the last question is also from Mark. He asked if you could post the phone number again.
Yep.
Which I can also put like your contact info in the email after this too. So
Yep.
make sure everybody has that. I don't see any more questions. Sometimes there's a lag, but I think that's all of them.
All right. Well, you have my cell phone number. You have my email address. If you do have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I do want to mention one more thing. We do have currently a convention that that we are running where you can spend 4 days, 3 nights in Mayacoba, Mexico. It's a beautiful facility. If you go to our website, you'll be able or if you go, once you get contracted and you log in, you'll be able to see this video. But it's a really cool place. And to qualify as an agent between up until the end of the year, if you can write $52,500 in premium, then you will qualify. And I promise you, I went there about a month ago for 24 hours to check it out, and it is awesome. So good luck there. And otherwise, yeah, text me, call me, email me, any questions that you may have.
Thank you. And if you guys aren't already, I'll put a link in the follow-up email after this where you can get contracted with United National Life. And I'll make sure and put the contact info and the stuff about the trip in there too.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.